Guys, I'm Steve. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If it's your first time stopping by the channel, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you won't regret it. You're a returning subscriber. As always, guys, welcome back, and I do appreciate the support. I'm reminding you, today is Friday. The Story Time with Stock Market Steve live stream will be tonight at 7 o'clock Central Standard Time. You guys that know already know every Friday this is something we do. We sit back and take a break of all these depressing, crazy crime stories. And speaking of crime stories, this one right here is a shocker. This is breaking news out of New York City. Shout out NY. And it's about two women that over a custody dispute, one wound up killing the other and then turning the gun on themselves. But the person that was doing the shooting is surprising to me. Lady's name is Kathleen Lee. She's 65 years old. She let that thing off. And the manner in which she killed this other woman, Marissa Galloway, 45 years old, and the timing in which she did it, where there was a 1-year-old baby in the back seat of the car, shows the desperation of wanting to win this case. Take a look at this story and we'll be back to talk about it.
But we begin with breaking news. A deadly shooting on the Upper East Side. Two women arguing inside a car when one woman shoots the other, then turns the gun on herself. Both are now dead, and it all happened with a child in the back seat.
Eyewitness News reporter Lindsay Tuckman is live at the scene. And Lindsay, we just got an update from police, correct?
Yeah, we just got an update from police mere moments ago, and this really is a horrible, horrible story. Police now confirmed that both people that were involved, two women, are now dead, and confirming that this was a likely murder-suicide. I'll show you what it looks like here at the scene. It is still a very active crime scene with police blocking off the road. You could see police vehicles here after this horrible incident earlier this morning, just before 9 a.m. Police are still investigating, but this is what we just learned so far. A car was parked on the street here. We're at East 88th Street near East End Avenue, and the victim, we're told, was putting a stroller in the trunk of the car when she was shot by the suspect in the head and the back. And it turns out these two know each other, are in the same family. What we learned from police just moments ago, that the victim was 45-year-old Marissa Galloway. She was shot twice in the head and the lower back. She was brought to the hospital and was eventually pronounced dead. The shooter is 65-year-old Kathleen Lee, we're told. According to police, she is the grandmother of the victim's 4-year-old child. There was, according to officials, one child in the backseat of the car. It was a 1-year-old, in fact, who was in a car seat, and we are told that the child is okay and uninjured. Two guns were recovered from the scene, according to police. One was on the sidewalk, and one was in the suspect, Catherine Lee's, tote bag. Apparently, there was an ongoing custody dispute over custody of the child. We spoke to people this morning who say it was quite a chaotic scene. They can't believe something like this happened in this neighborhood. We are steps away from Gracie Mansion, where the mayor lives, of course. A witness described the moments that he heard gunshots, and police described more about what happened.
I heard yelling, and then I heard shots. I ducked into my doorway for cover, and then I looked, and I saw the lady with the white hair fall onto the sidewalk. I saw there was another woman lying behind the car who was also shot. There was a 4-year-old child in the car. I called 911. The police responded immediately.
The preliminary motive for this incident is going to be an ongoing domestic dispute between Ms. Galloway, her 4-year-old child's son, and the shooter. This ongoing dispute has resulted in 5 domestic incident reports being taken by the NYPD, along with 2 complaint reports. Neither of these incidents, any of these incidents, resulted in an arrest.
Again, it was a 1-year-old child, in fact, that was in the backseat of that car, who fortunately is uninjured. But it is a very sad story all around. Again, 2 people dead after this attempted murder-suicide. Again, people are very shaken up in the neighborhood. The road is still closed behind me here as this investigation continues. Live on the Upper East Side, Lindsay Tuckman, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
That's the story so far. And when I was watching that article, I had to go back and look at it again because the news is all over the place. A lot of times when stuff breaks early and they give you an inclination of what it was about, it's better to read it from something that's on paper or article. Now, there's an article in the New York Times, and this just happened, what, about 3 hours ago? And this is what it said, and it reads as follows from the New York Times: 2 women killed in Upper East Side, murder/suicide. The shooting took place just a half a block from Gracie Mansion, the official residence of the New York City mayor, and was related to a child custody dispute, according to police. 2 women were shot to death in a murder-suicide in the Upper East Side of Manhattan on Friday morning, according to police. Officers responded to a 911 call around 8:55 a.m. about 2 women who had been shot near a white Honda Civic outside an apartment building at 519 East 88th Street, just a half block from Gracie Mansion, the official residency of the New York City mayor, which they said already. One of the women, identified by the police as Kathleen Lee, 65 years old, approached the second woman, identified as Marissa Galloway, age 45, shooting her in the head and lower back. Ms. Lee then shot herself in the head, the police said. Ms. Lee was pronounced dead at the scene. The police said Ms. Galloway was taken to Weill Cornell Medical Center, where she later died. Joseph Kenny, the chief of detectives in the police department, said the shooting was related to an ongoing child custody dispute. In a news conference on Friday, the police said they had a video showing Miss Galloway putting her 1-year-old daughter into a car seat in the back of the Honda just before the shooting. Then, as Miss Galloway walked to the rear of the car to put the stroller in the trunk, Miss Lee approached and shot her in the head. The police said Ms. Lee can then be seen shooting Miss Galloway in the lower back. The 1-year-old girl was unharmed, according to police. The authorities said Ms. Lee was the grandmother of Miss Galloway's other child, a 4-year-old girl. Ms. Lee was a retired Cook County probation officer from Chicago, according to the police, and had been living with relatives in New York City for the past 3 years. The police recovered a loaded 9mm gun from the sidewalk and another firearm from a tote bag Miss Lee was carrying. The guns had no history of being stolen in the city, according to officials. The police said they were trying to confirm whether Miss Lee had owned the weapons during her time as a probation officer. No arrests have been made in the shooting, and the police said they were still investigating. 911 caller on Friday morning reported hearing gunshots, looking out of a window to see 2 women lying on the ground, surrounded by a lot of blood. Jaime Peralta, 60, the superintendent of a nearby building, said he was on the sidewalk when he heard the shots a block away. Like bam, 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 he said. Maybe it's balloons. Mr. Peralta said he had heard no screams or anything indicating a dispute. The area where the shooting took place is a particularly quiet area in the Upper East Side, and there is little foot traffic, and people can often walk at night without fear of crime. Recent data in the 19th precinct, which includes the block where the shooting occurred, shows that the area did not report any murders through July 21st of this year, though there were 2 shootings. There were 3 murders and 1 shooting during the same period in 2023, the data shows. Guys, that's the story of what happened with these 2 ladies. One killed the other in brutal fashion, too. She had her head in the trunk, putting the stroller up. You blasted her twice in the head and once in the back. Then jump on the sidewalk and shoot your own self. How did that help the situation or the child? You showed no respect for that 1-year-old. And the only thing good about this bad situation is that little baby didn't see it, because she was in the car seat. You know, the car seats got them high back. She didn't see it. But I mean, this is a horrific crime. These are women. 45 and 65, really the one 65, the one that did the shoot, had 2 guns on her. What you got 2 guns for? Either way, man, this right here was a disaster. It made me think, what kind of mindset did you have? Because it seemed like they said it was over a custody dispute. So what? She was the one that was losing? The one that shot? I see why, if you unstable like that. But either way, man, I mean, nobody knows what this is about, but I mean, it's just messed up that this had to happen. And it's sad, you're starting to see crimes where women are just outdoing the men with their brutality and viciousness. Hurtful, man. Not only is she dead, the mom's dead. 2 children lost a mother. One of them, the 4-year-old, lost the grandmom and the mom. Some people refuse to lose. I'm Stock Market Steve for the Dynamic Reason channel. As always, like, comment, share, and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.